Some officers believe the badge protects them from consequences and that they are above the law. Today, one cop learns the hard way that justice doesn't play favorites.
All day, like I said. How are you? Well, I was doing just...
In December 2018, a YouTuber known as Otto the Watchdog, whose real name is Winston Knowles, stood on public property, holding up various signs for about 30 minutes.
Flag down of an individual over by Jack in the Box, holding a sign up that has profanities on it. We'll be en route to check it out.
10-4, you advise the sign has profanities on it?
Yeah, the sign that the gentleman's holding up has an iPhone that's attached to it, and it's got in very large letters different profanities.
It wasn't obscene because it didn't have any prurient or erotic component. It also didn't.
Passing drivers honked and waved in support, but the peaceful moment didn't last. Officers from the Royce City Police Department were alerted, and Officer Johnny Clark was sent to the scene.
Johnny with the other one? Should be right over here. Thank you. Yes. Some guy holding up a sign that says stuff or something. Going off.
11, I'm out.
Are you doing okay, sir? You're just not going to answer? We're getting reports that your signs have profanity. Can I check them to make sure that they don't? And then you can stand here all day long if you want to.
11, clear. He is going through the vaccine. Apparently has permission.
No.
Stop.
You're not going to speak?
For the weekend. Stating he had permission.
10-4, I'll show you quick.
742. 711, go ahead and head over here.
10-4.
You won't let me look at your signs just to make sure there's not any profanity on them?
No, Fourth Amendment, sorry.
Do what?
No, never mind. You're dismissed, you go away now. I'm not doing nothing. Am I doing something?
If you are holding up signs for the public to see that have profanity, then yes.
Within moments, Otto found himself surrounded. The officers zeroed in on his sign, demanding answers, but Otto wouldn't budge. He refused to consent to a search or seizure. That refusal provoked Sergeant Dial, and what followed was an unnecessary escalation.
All I want to do is make sure that what I've been told is not what's on your signs, and then you can stand here all day, like I said. How are you?
Well, I was doing just fine.
And I've already heard you say a cuss word once, so...
What do your other signs say, sir? Sir, what do your other signs say? What am I doing? That's your other signs. Let's get going. Sir, you got the complaints, you got the profanities. Okay? You let me your sign. I don't consent to any searches or seizures.
This is offensive to people that are driving by.
Is that against the law?
Yes,
Yes,
it is.
What's the bill code?
It's
Disorderly conduct.
Read that to me.
It's disorderly conduct. You have your ID on you?
No,
Now you're failing the ID.
I don't have.
Put your hands.
With no warning, the senior officer lashed out, knocking the signs away and making Officer Clark flinch and step back.
Roll over. Since he's failing the ID, take him to the disorderly conduct.
11, you good?
I would like to speak to the supervisor right now.
The supervisor is the one that's right here talking to you, so...
I'd like to speak to his supervisor. As far as I understand, I have not committed a crime today.
When when we're here answering a complaint and you refuse to identify yourself, that is a crime.
726, I'm out with them.
When you're displaying these signs and people are calling because it's offensive to them, that is another crime. So yes, you have committed a crime. You committed 2.
You didn't warn me.
We don't
I
have
asked you politely to see your signs, and you said I
No.
don't consent to any searches or seizures of my property or my person.
I'm not.
They ain't gonna fit in that.
We're not gonna have court right here. No.
Otto lay flat on the ground, making it clear that the situation was illegal. However, instead of resisting with force, he chose civil disobedience. His message was straightforward: no fight, but no cooperation.
Is that your cell phone and tripod? If it's not, I'm gonna leave it sitting here. If it is, I'm gonna take it and put it up so somebody doesn't steal it. But if you wanna act this way, I'll leave it sitting here and let somebody steal it. Why would you do that? Okay. We don't know the stuff that is. Okay. I have a question. What am I being arrested for?
Disorderly conduct, and failed to ID.
Ask questions. You had opportunity to ask things right. You know what? Nobody even asked me to identify. All you did is ask me if I had ID. I don't have ID.
Let me explain something to you, young man. We're not holding court on the side of the road with you, okay?
Well, you're arresting me.
We're not holding court with you on the side of the road.
I have handcuffs
Any
on.
questions you have, you can ask the jail or you can ask the court.
You gonna get up? I can't. Okay. Roll back over and I'll help you up. I'm not sure if I can do that either. I would like to see your supervisor right now before you assault me any further.
We're not.
I am being assaulted. I have not committed a crime.
The officer made things worse by needlessly threatening to abandon Otto's camera at the scene, leaving it open to anyone who might want to take it.
Get up. I have not committed a crime. I can't get up. You're hurting me. You're hurting me.
Then get up.
I cannot get up.
Get
like
up.
this. I can't get up like this.
They lift you up.
I'm trying to get up. That, please get up. Well, assist me up instead of trying to. We're trying to help you up.
Lift you up.
Yes, you are. I've seen the game before. Roll up to your knees and they will assist you up.
Roll up to my knees. I'm a fat man. Help me to my knees.
We already have one.
All over when you want.
Now they'll lift you straight up. Stand up. Okay, help me up. I've committed no crime. I've committed no crime whatsoever. Please get my equipment.
That's not yours. Remember, I asked you earlier.
So you're gonna leave on the side of the road. Get my equipment. Get my equipment.
Don't tell me.
I've committed no crime. I've committed no crime whatsoever.
That's not yours. Remember, I asked you earlier.
Come on. You're gonna leave my shit on the side of the road. Get my equipment. You dude, I'm asking you to get my equipment. I'm committed no crime. No crime. Get my equipment. Walk in and out.
What is this doing our coach?
Oh, come on, the back button. You put me in a totally go home.
You know, has it 7350 in
The police claimed they detained Otto because he refused to identify himself, but under Texas law, people aren't legally required to provide their identity unless they're under arrest.
I asked him if it was his. He didn't want to talk.
I heard it on.
Yeah.
Okay. He knew where his car was.
Somewhere up there. If I had to bet. So could you please tell me exactly why I'm in the back of this car?
You are under arrest for photo ID and disorderly conduct.
Why just ID? So
You're still under arrest for failed ID.
I was under arrest and then I ID'd.
as the code says.
No, the code says when you're legally detained, you're required to ID yourself. You did not.
It specifically says arrested.
Okay.
I didn't do nothing.
What's your phone number?
I didn't do nothing.
Otto stood up to the injustice by filing a lawsuit against Sergeant Dial, accusing them of violating his First Amendment rights and malicious prosecution. During his deposition, Otto's lawyer thoroughly dismantled the sergeant's defense.
As I explained earlier, one, it was an officer safety issue because I don't know what the signs are made out of or what they were. They could be used as a weapon. And secondly, we were still investigating whether a crime had been committed. And he was unwilling to show us what the other two signs or what the sign said other than what we could see.
Did you believe that Mr. Knowles had an obligation to give you those signs?
What do you mean, an obligation?
Did you have the right to see those signs?
Well, it's part of our investigation.
Did Mr. Knowles have the right to refuse showing you the signs? Why did you hit the sign so hard?
With 11 years on the job, you'd expect Sergeant Dial to know the law pretty well, but no, he clearly left many questioning his competence.
I don't know what your definition of hard and soft is, and that was 5 years ago.
How do you define hard and soft? You can use your own definition, please.
In regards to what?
The level of force that you applied to the signs.
Objection form. I mean, I don't know how I would describe hitting a sign soft or hard.
Why didn't you use less force when touching the signs?
Objection. I didn't know I used too much force.
Could you have used less force when touching the signs?
Objection form. In regards to what? I mean, what was the amount of force that I used?
You said earlier that you conducted an investigation after you arrived on the scene that day with Knowles. What were the results of that investigation?
In regards to what?
The sergeant violated Otto's First, Fourth, and 14th Amendment rights and showed a clear lack of understanding regarding disorderly conduct laws.
Find anything during your investigation that caused you to arrest Knowles, that caused anyone to arrest Knowles?
Through our investigation, we determined that disorderly conduct had been committed.
How did disorderly conduct get committed?
Due to the verbiage that was on the signs, and we had received complaints.
It was obvious from his ignorance of the Constitution that Sergeant Dial wasn't cut out for this role.
If you received the same complaints and those signs had said something different, would Knowles have been arrested?
The same complaints in what? Because the complaint we had was, it was vulgar and offensive.
What I'm asking you is, if the complaints were the same, but the contents of the signs were different, would Knowles have been arrested?
Objection form.
That's speculation because I don't know what verbiage you're referring to.
What if the sign said Blue Lives Matter?
How is Blue Lives? There's nothing vulgar about Blue Lives Matter. There's no profanity in Blue Lives Matter.
Are you saying that if the sign said Blue Lives Matter, Knowles would not have been arrested?
I'm telling you that based on the complaints that we received that day, a guy telling me that he was offended by the profanity and vulgar that was being used in the signs.
Objection, non-responsive.
Sergeant Dial failed to identify any actual law that Otto had allegedly violated. He simply claimed the arrest was due to someone being offended by the sign. It's clear he needs a refresher on the Constitution.
Complaints were the same, but the sign said Blue Lives Matter. Would Knowles have been arrested that day?
Objection form.
There's no vulgar or profanity in in the verb or term, the verbiage or term Blue Lives Matter.
Do you think anyone that says a bad word publicly should be arrested?
No.
Why not?
Did someone complain on them, or they just out there just throwing a fit? No complaints. I mean, there's several reasons.
Objection form.
There's several reasons why we would not arrest someone. I mean, if nobody finds it offensive, then this will.
So if the language on the signs had not offended someone, Knowles would have been arrested, or would he not have been arrested?
Objection form.
That day?
Correct.
No, we wouldn't have. Not.
The lawyer masterfully handled every step of the deposition, but what came next would steal the show.
Knowles' prior disorderly conduct.
He was explaining it to Knowles that as I'm walking up, he's explaining it to him that, look, I've already heard you out here cussing at people.
So he was talking to Knowles, not you.
That is correct. Which point?
Did any motorists complain about the prior alleged profanities that Knowles said before you arrived?
Well, the one gentleman told me about the signs, and regarding what the people on 911 called in about, I do not recall that.
So every complaint that you received was about the signs, is that right?
That I'm not aware of. I don't know what the people that called or the verbiage used when dispatch gave us the call, if it was about the signs or if it was about language.
So you can't remember if anyone complained about verbal language, and you didn't hear any allegedly profane verbal language from Knowles at the scene.
I did not hear it, but I heard Clark explaining to Knowles that he has already witnessed it or observed it himself.
Then came the question that caught the officer completely off guard.
What a profanity that Knowles said.
No, I do not.
Other than the words on the signs, do you know one word of profanity that Knowles said?
No, I do not.
And you are not aware of any person that was offended by what Knowles said?
No.
The moment he admitted, the arrest was about the sign's words. His defense fell apart.
Offended by the contents of his signs?
No.
Why did you think they were offensive?
I didn't think they were offensive.
So why did you arrest them?
Every time the lawyer pushed the First Amendment angle, the sergeant responded with another blunder.
A citizen complained about vulgarities.
Objection form.
So a citizen made the police department or dispatch aware that they had used profanities and vulgarities and were offended. Would I arrest someone?
That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
When making such an arrest, would you consider the complainer's physical reaction to the
Objection form.
I don't understand what you mean physical reaction.
How many people would you say you arrest in a year?
I have no clue.
You can't tell me an average number of people that you arrest every year?
That is correct. I have absolutely no clue.
How long have you been a police officer?
15 years now? 16 years?
And you have no idea how many people you arrest per year?
Sir, I don't keep up with statistics like that. I don't have a clue how many tickets I write a year.
Have you arrested more than 5 people in your career?
I believe that would be an accurate statement.
Have you observed more than 10 arrests in your career?
I'd probably say I have observed more than 10 arrests in my career.
Have you observed more?
It's disturbing that someone can serve as a police officer for a decade without grasping the basics of the Constitution. What exactly are they being taught?
That I don't know.
Have you observed more than 30 arrests in your career?
I don't know.
Do you remember any specific details about your training regarding First Amendment rights?
No, I do not.
Are you saying that you don't remember one word from your training regarding First Amendment rights?
Objection.
That is correct.
Are you sure that the First Amendment related training occurred? Any training related to constitutional rights since you became an officer?
I do not recall.
When someone that high up doesn't know the basics, it makes you question the whole system that put him there. It's a sign of a much deeper problem.
Have you Where did you receive the training regarding constitutional rights in 2007?
When I was in the police academy, is that what you're referring to?
I'm referring to the training that you refer to, that you received in 2007. since then?
I do not recall.
After the deposition, the city backed down and agreed to settle the case, ultimately paying Otto $25,000. Even though Sergeant Dial clearly showed a lack of understanding of the Constitution, he wasn't disciplined. Instead, he was promoted to lieutenant. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.